Hey everybody. I've been wanting to do a video like this for kind of a really long time, and I've been nervous about doing it because it's kind of put yourself out there and make yourself kind of vulnerable and stuff. And but now I just got to suck it up and do it. So here I am, and the reason why is really because I did a recent few meditations, and they really clarified some things for me, and it's time for me to get out there and start speaking and talking to some of you guys about what's going on. So what I want to do is first I want to go over a couple things. The first thing is that I'd really like you to watch this from the beginning to the end. Otherwise, if you don't, you're really not going to get the point. Think of it kind of like one of those 60-minute shows where you have no idea what's going on in the beginning and you have to watch it until the end so it all makes sense. And keep an open mind. We have a natural instinct to want to defend what we already believe or what we already know. So instead of listening to what someone has to say, they start, in their head defending, or coming up with an argument against that. And I'd really ask that you not do that. Of course, whatever, at the end, if you don't agree with what I have to say or whatever, that's fine. But, give it a chance from the beginning to the end. And the other thing I want you all to know is that everything that I'm going to say and everything I'm going to talk about, I'm not judging anyone. I put no judgment out there, and believe me, because I've been there, I've done the things that I'm talking about, and I just don't want people to think that I'm telling you what to do or telling you who to be or telling you how to live. I'm just going to be sharing my experience, hopefully to empower you to maybe think a little bit differently about some things, and then you'll be able to find your own way, your own journey, your own truth. Because knowledge is just someone else's opinion until you realize it for yourself, and then it becomes your truth. So I just want you all to just kind of sit back, relax. This is going to take a little bit of time. But it's definitely going to be worth it, I believe, anyway. So if anybody knows me for any length of time, they know that I pretty much drastically changed my lifestyle over the last 4 or 5 years or so. I, much like many of other people, have had some health issues and challenges, and I went from doctor to doctor, testing and all these different things. And I was told, oh, hey, here you can have, take these pills. This is what's wrong with you. This is the label. This is what it's going to be for the rest of your life. You'll have to do this and that. And I'm sorry, but I don't know. I don't accept that. I'm too young. This shouldn't be happening to me. I shouldn't be feeling like this. And there's got to be some other options out there. So like a lot of other people, I went looking for natural alternatives, okay? I go and, there's got to be, there's more information out there, ways that you can heal yourself. There's got to be than pills and tests and living at the doctor's office and all of that, which I had no intention of doing. So I went and I started researching, and I started joining groups, and I started going and looking at alternative sites and information, and looking up Ayurvedic medicine and looking up traditional Chinese medicine, and trying to figure out exactly how my body really, was supposed to work. And I found it was overwhelming, and it kind of I was doing it all by myself too, so it wasn't like I had anybody to help me and guide me into anything, because I went from the MDs to the DOs and all the testing in the hospitals, and then I went to the naturopaths, and then I went, all of that, and then it's like, oh, well, what pill can I take, or what supplement can I take to fix my problem, to fix my label that they've given me that's wrong with me? And they love their labels, I tell you what. Oh my goodness, they'll give you labels and labels like out the yin yang. And it makes you feel better, because then you're like, oh, so that's what's wrong with me. Oh, now I get it. Okay. So it's nothing I'm doing wrong. I'm just, there's something wrong with me. And that's what they always tell us, right? So we're led to believe that innately we are sick and there's something wrong with us. And that's just the way it is. Well, I started after this, I met some people and I started talking to some people who really kind of laid things out for me in a different way that helped me look at things differently and helped me look at everything and from a different perspective. And that's what I want to share with you. That's what I want you to take away from this, is kind of a new way of looking at things. And again, I'm not telling you what to do, anything. Take this and then you find your own truth. You find your own journey. You do your own research. You don't take my word for it. You need to experience it and you need to do it. Okay? So let's just talk about statistics for a little bit. If we look at statistically, our country, the United States in general, and the world, okay, but the United States, because that's where I live, is sicker than it's ever been. Okay? According to the CDC, let me look. I'm going to look just because I want to make sure I get this right. 6 in 10 adults suffer from chronic disease. 4 in 10 have 2 or more chronic diseases. And even then, they say that those numbers are low and they're astronomically going up. And that we spend $3.5 trillion a year on these chronic diseases. You're talking heart disease, cancer, diabetes, autoimmune, thyroid, childhood cancers, kidney diseases, liver diseases, respiratory problems, Alzheimer's problems. You're talking endocrine, all these endocrine problems. You're talking nervous system disorders. You name it, it's out there. Autism, okay? I think the statistics, the last time I looked, was 85% of boys are autistic. And they're saying that by 2025, 100% of boys are going to be autistic. Okay, there's something wrong with that. That's not right. That ain't freaking genetics, guys. That's not passed on, okay? There's something innately wrong going on. And then, if you look at infant mortality, the United States, supposed to be the best country in the world, best medical care, best this, best that. Well, we rank 17th out of all industrialized nations for infant mortality. We have more babies dying in the United States than 17 other industrialized nations. Yet, we're supposed to give the best health care. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't compute. It's completely illogical, okay? So when you start looking at all these statistics, you can't, everyone I talk to, everyone's suffering from something. It's like you get together with your friends and, oh, how are you? Oh, had to go to the doctor for this. I had this problem. I'm taking this medication. My uncle this, my grandma this, my this problem this. Everybody is freaking sick. You can't swing a bat without hitting somebody that's suffering. And I tell you what, the medical community is supposed to be so great. And believe me, they've done some wonderful things. And they excellent in trauma care. One of my dearest friends lost her leg. She has one now that she can use, okay? Those things are great. But our healthcare system is not a healthcare system. It is a sickness care system. They manage sickness. They manage symptoms. They don't cure anything. I don't ever remember anybody talking to anybody saying, hey, I went to the doctor and they diagnosed me with this and labeled me with this, but hey, they cured me. They don't cure shit, guys. And and look at those statistics. Top 4 causes of death in the United States: heart disease, cancer, properly prescribed medications, and medical mistakes. Who manages all that? The medical system. Now, don't get offended because I'm talking about the medical system and you work for the medical system or you know nurses or doctors or whatever. I'm not saying that these people are bad. They're not. Most people are good. Most people want to help people. They want to go and their heart's in the right place. But they're being led down a path by an industry that makes billions and billions off your sickness and your diseases and your problems. They don't want to cure you. If they cure you, they go out of business. So the other thing you need to understand is that I really enjoy like the, knowing where, where words are derived from. And medical is me, die, cull. It's the culling of one's own death with consent. So that means you don't feel good, you go to the doctor, you get medications, the pharma rep says, take this one. We don't really know what it does. We tested it, it's pretty good. But if you take it with this one and this one and this one, and given your constitution and your body, who knows what's going to happen, right? But you need these pills, you need this. Well, then they cause other problems. They cause this problem, they cause that problem, they cause this disease, they cause, and so, but you're deliberately going there. So, and you're believing that that's what they're there to do, is to help you. Yeah. You have to help yourself. And this is where we're at. Because if you don't want to be one of these statistics, if you don't want to be living your life popping pills and being sick and fighting inflammation, not being able to walk, having gut issues, headaches, migraine, all that kind of stuff, you have to think differently. Because we're doing it wrong. If we were doing it right, if everything was right, people would be healthy. Okay? People would really be healthy. So if we look at our constitution, everybody's constitution is a little bit different. That's why diseases present themselves differently within our bodies. Okay? So we do inherit our genetic weaknesses from our parents, from their parents, from their parents. And those genetic weaknesses are passed down and passed down. And the more and more they're passed down, the worse they are. I mean, our genetics, the weaknesses become weaker and weaker. So, but we have the ability to address that. We have the ability to strengthen those weaknesses. We can alter our cellular, our cells so that they work better. Okay. We live so far out of balance with nature that the only way to get back to being healthy is to get back to nature and to get back the way our species is really supposed to live and supposed to be. So think about this and listen. Now, this is really, really important. Now, you really got to think about this when I talk about this. Now, imagine plants, any plant, trees, plants, flowers, whatever, okay? What do they need to survive? They need water, they need nutrients, they need sun, they need to be in the right environment. You can't take a cactus and plant it in Alaska, okay? So when you remove any of those things, or you limit those things, or you add in other things that are not part of that, what's going to happen? Naturally, they will get diseased and they will die. Some of them will get diseased in different ways. Some will go faster, some will go slower, some, it'll express itself differently, all right? And then you take that up to animals. Let's go up to animals. So what do panda bears eat, right? Panda bears eat bamboo and like some bugs and water or whatever, right? Well, if we feed them cheesesteaks and pizza and beer and pop, and they start getting sick, what are we going to do? What are we going to go? Oh, why is that panda bear getting sick? Well, let's see. It's got to be the pizza and the beer and the cheesesteaks and all that kind of stuff, because they're not supposed to eat that, right? They're not supposed to eat that. Let's take that away and then they'll get better. They will flourish, right? So look at the species as us as human beings. Human species, we're doing it wrong, okay? We are not meant to be eating processed foods, boxed foods, Doritos, donuts, cakes, all this shit that we constantly eat. We go into the grocery store and there's a health aisle, right? So what is the rest of the store? The unhealthy aisle, right? The unhealthy store, you got the health part and then the rest. So what do we do? Over the last 40, 50 years, what have we done? We've gotten away from farm to table. We've gotten away from natural foods. And we wake up in the morning and we feed our children white toast with butter, or a bowl of cereal with processed pus milk and all kinds of other stuff. Then they want a snack, right? Oh, so here we're going to give them some crackers, which are filled with all kinds of stuff, like goldfish or whatever those things are. And then, hey, let's have some lunch. Let's have a hot dog. Let's have some hot dogs and French fries. Okay? Yeah, that's real nutrient, rich. And then, oh, you get hungry. Oh, I want ice cream, Mom. I want ice cream. Let's have some M&Ms. Let's have some candy. Let's have some cake. Oh, now it's time for dinner. What are we going to have for dinner? Well, we're going to have a big thing of steak, and then we're going to have a little bowl of vegetables and bread, and here's some garlic bread, and here's some noodles, and here's this and that. Then after that, maybe, hey, yeah, let's have some more cake and pie and all that kind of stuff. Well, you do this every day for years. What do you think's going to happen? Those things aren't found in nature. And then our bodies are going to get diseased because we're not giving it the nutrients that it needs. We're filling it with Gatorade and high fructose corn syrup and all this other crap that's deemed, food. And it's not food. It's not food. It's frankenfood. It's fake food. It's not real. And it doesn't do anything for our bodies, right? So think of this. Imagine if you have a lake, right? And a bunch of the fish start getting sick. All of a sudden they're coming up, they're dying, whatever, they're getting sick or whatever. What do you think the question's going to be? So it's going to be, gee, I wonder why they're sick. I wonder why they're dying. Well, do you think the answer's going to be, hey, let's just start dumping a bunch of medication in the lake and then it'll all get it, or we'll catch all the fish and we'll stuff some pills down their throats, inject them with some stuff, and then put them back and it'll all be good? No. You say, oh, what's going on environmentally that's causing these fish to be sick? I mean, that's rational, logical thought, right? But we don't think like that, especially with humans. I mean, think about your dogs. Cancer in animals is skyrocketing, unbelievably skyrocketing. And then what happens when they're getting sick? Then the vet says, oh, you got to put them on this more natural diet. No grains, no soy, no this, no that. Well, yeah, because they're not supposed to eat it. And that's why they're getting sick. It's the same with humans. We're not supposed to eat it either, but we are. And in boatloads, like nonstop. And I'm not judging you. Because I did it too. Believe me. I loved my booze. I freaking loved quesadillas. I ate the burgers. I ate the cakes, the pies, cookies. I mean, you name it. I ate it. Okay. But now I know that that's what was part of the reason why I wasn't feeling good. So I needed to make changes, right? So then you take not only what we eat and what we drink. Oh my gosh. And what we drink, all those power drinks and the Gatorades and those energy drinks and all this fake, the pop. Oh my gosh. Everybody knows how bad soda is for you. And I'll say soda for the East Coasters, pop for the Midwestern, whatever. Okay. Everybody knows how bad it is for them, but they just can't give it up. Why can't they give it up? Because they're addicted to it. Because there's excitotoxins in there. There's things in there that make you addicted to them. Just like coffee, just like all these processed foods with all these sugars and all this other stuff in it. Our bodies, you're like a meth addict, even though you don't want to believe that. You really are. You are addicted to that stuff just like a crackhead. Do you want to be a crackhead? I don't want to be a crackhead. So, no, right? So, we take that, so then it's the food and it's the drinks and it's all of that. So that plays a part. That's one part, right? Then we have sleeping. People don't sleep right anymore. People don't go to bed early and wake up early and get outside and meditate or stretch or do exercises. They wake up, they get on their phone, and they're like this, okay? So we're depriving ourselves of the much needed sleep that we need. And then on top of that, we have stress. Stress out like crazy, right? Well, you ever hear, everybody's heard of this, stress kills, right? Well, I used to hear that too. And I thought, yeah, stress is bad for you. Nobody wants to be stressed. It can't be good for you, right? I had no idea why it was bad for you. But I learned why. So when our body is in stress mode, we go into a fight or flight response. Our body goes into survival mode, right? So what that does is it takes our adrenals and it boosts, it takes up all our cortisol and just, and that fight or flight. And when you're constantly living that, when it does that, it takes all the energy and everything that your body has, and it tries to survive. So it's going into survival mode. Well, you know what that does? It takes away energy and it takes away all that from the rest of your organs. So your organs are slowly, so then they're not working properly and they're getting sluggish and this and that. When you live in that constant stress environment, that's really what's happening, okay? So we need to eliminate the stress, all right, which can be really hard to do, especially in today's world and whatever, because that's the way our world has been designed so that we live stressful lives, okay? So you take that and then you add in all this this radiation, okay? Constant radiation. We're microwaving our food, radiating it, taking away all the nutrients of it. We're sitting there. We put Wi-Fi in our houses, right? So we're basically making a little microwave, box for us to slowly damage our cells down to a cellular level. I mean, and you're holding onto your phone 24/7, you're sticking it in your pocket, you're sticking it here, you're doing all these things, and that constant radiation is damaging our bodies. And people want to believe, oh, no, that's not true. Well, it is true. There's plenty of science out there to prove it, guys. Plenty. There was a woman, she used to put her phone in her bra, right? Well, she had big boobs. I can't do that, right? So she puts that in there. Well, she gets cancer. And guess what? She gets cancer right here, and it was the same size as her phone. Okay? There's a guy, he had all of a sudden trouble walking. He's like, I'm getting old, this is the problem, blah, blah, blah. I've got all this problem with my hip. Well, you know what? Turns out he kept his phone in his pocket all the time. Bad. We go and we stick our phones next to our heads at nighttime, right? Our children are sitting there holding these little tablets with the radiation thing right down on their reproductive organs. And they're holding it in their hands, staring at it while it radiates through their hands. If you actually read the paperwork that comes with your phone, who reads that, right? Just like when you join, Facebook or whatever. Did you actually read what you agreed to? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I mean, some people did, but most people don't. Because, you just agree because you got to use it, right, or whatever. Well, when you look at your phones, it tells you that you're not supposed to keep them. You're supposed to keep them, I thought it was like 6 centimeters or something away from your body. How are you supposed to do that when you're walking around like this all day long? Especially these salespeople and stuff that are on their phone all the time like this. That's constant radiation. And when you feel your phone getting hot and your ear getting hot and your head getting hot, I mean, we have to really kind of put this thing together, right? So there's reasons why you need to make changes to all those things, all right? And then on top of all that, you have chemicals. Chemicals are everywhere, in everything, all right? I got to look at this one because, okay, there's over 100,000 toxic chemicals being used on us today. And when I say being used on us, I mean that because they're in your food, they're in your beauty products, they're in your cleaning products, they're in your everything and anything that you touch, everything you spray, it's in your candles, it's everywhere. So the Toxic Substance Control Act of 1976 grandfathered over 100,000 chemicals in with no safety studies at all. Zero. None. Zilch. Okay? And the few that they did test required that 50% of the animals that were tested had to die in order for them to put a label on it and mark it as safe. Like, think about that. Really, really think about that. Okay? So think about everything that you use in your house and put on your clothes, your fabric softeners, your this or that. The amount of chemicals that are in there are unbelievable. And these manufacturers are protected from telling you anything about it. They don't have to warn you because they're protected. And their trade laws do that for them. Your perfumes, women spraying perfumes all over themselves, endocrine disruptors. It's horrendous. A really good movie for you to watch, a documentary, you can watch it on Netflix, is called Stink. So that'll start your little journey down this path to understanding how these chemicals are damaging your body. So when you look at all those chemicals, and we know that they're everywhere, and they're under your kitchen sink, they're in your cabinets, they're in your purse, you're putting them on your babies, you're washing the clothes and the laundry in it, and then you're wrapping up your little ones in it, and your children and your loved ones. OSHA has their non-industrial building requirements for the number of parts per million for toxic chemicals or whatever. The average home is 50 times that limit. So you have 50 times the amount of parts per million of chemicals floating around in your home. And you know what damage that's doing? It's endocrine disruptors. They're nerve disruptors. They're cancer-causing chemicals. We bring all this stuff into our house. These chemical companies, it's a $7 billion a year industry for them, for all that. And that was back in 2000, like in the mid 2000s for that one. So it's much worse now. I mean, we're in 2020 now. So think about it. It's in your bleach, it's in your Lysol, and everybody's using all these things now. They're Lysol and bleaching and everything. I watched a video the other day of a guy, Lysol, he took a key, and then he put it in a cup and he sprayed a bunch of Lysol in there. It was basically showing people how to break into a house, because when you put the fumes in there and you put it in there and then you shake it up or whatever, it manipulated the metal to where it would re-key it, like when you use it. So imagine everybody is get Lysol, get bleach, all these kinds of things, and then they're breathing all that in. Imagine what that's doing to our lungs, our respiratory system. It's not good. It's not healthy, right? I mean, your fabric softener is probably one of the worst things ever. Oh my gosh. If you look at the chemicals in that, woo! But you think it's okay because it's at the store and it's safe, right? People are looking out for us. No, not so much. Not so much. They're not. You got to look out for yourself. You got to be the gatekeeper for your house, for your family, for your loved ones, because they're not doing it. My neighbor, many, many, many years ago, before I knew anything, she came over, we were chatting about whatever, and she was like, hey, have you heard about aspartame and how bad it is and blah, 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 blah. And I go, well, really? No, I didn't hear about that. And she's like, oh yeah, it causes this problem and that problem. And you know what I thought? I said, wow. After, she left, I go, yeah, but they really wouldn't allow anything that wasn't safe, for us. So she must not know what she's talking about. She knew what she was talking about. I was just too ignorant to understand or to believe it, or to actually go, hey, I'm going to look into that. Because you know what? I didn't look into it. And I bet if I did, it probably would have opened my eyes a lot sooner to all this stuff that's happening and everything that I'm talking to you about. So if you look at, if you want to see really what damage these chemicals are doing to you, there's a great app. It's called the Chemical Maze app. All right. Get that Chemical Maze app and type in whatever chemical. Go to your kitchen cabinet. Go to your makeup. Go to the stuff that you're putting on your babies. Grab your fabric softener. Flip that thing over. Look at the ingredients in there and start typing it in and see what it says. Because I can guarantee you, if you've got health issues and concerns, it's all going to be related. It's all going to say, this causes this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem, and boom. And then you go, hey, wow, I have that problem. Grandma has that problem. Uncle Joe has that problem, right? But we don't think to do that, right? The other, really bad, there's a really good documentary, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's on Netflix, and it's all about nonstick Teflon. Oh my gosh, if you're cooking with nonstick Teflon, throw it out the window right now. It is so horrible for you. Oh my goodness. Okay. I can make this video really, really long, but I'm trying. I want to get through this so that, we can, you can start going and researching stuff yourself. All right. So after learning all of these things and thinking about it rationally and some common sense and logical thought and reason, and I start, looking at all these things, I realized that the only way to true health is to get away from all this stuff, is to move away from it, to protect our families in a way, because I'm the gatekeeper to my house. If I don't buy it, it doesn't come into my house. When I started this journey, I still am, mocked, ridiculed, laughed at. Oh yeah, Kelly, all those things. Hey, how's that salad? Well, it's really good. How's your diabetes and your heart disease on a plate? Okay. Everybody's so worried about getting sick, being sick, and catching something. But yet they're sitting there drinking booze every day, smoking every day, doing drugs, eating processed foods, not exercising, not going outside, not breathing, not getting away and de-stressing and getting off the computer and not watching the TV with the programming, and just like it puts you in this daze of like, what the fuck, right? But we can do it. You can do it. And everybody can make the changes. And I always hear, believe me, I hear the excuses. I've made the excuses. Oh, it's too expensive. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I could never give up my pop. Oh, I could never stop drinking my wine. Oh, I could never. Yeah, you can. If you keep saying, I can't, I won't, I never, you can't, you won't, you never. If you say, I can, I will, I want to, I deserve it, my health is worth it, my children's health is worth it, then you'll do it. And you don't have to do it on anybody else's terms. You do it whatever works best for you. You find your path, okay? You can go and you can stop smoking. You can stop drinking. You can stop buying crap food. And you can increase fruits and you can increase vegetables and you can go outside and take a walk. And all that stuff doesn't cost you any money. The only thing that costs you money, you save money by giving up all that crap, and then you reinvest it into your health, right? It's all what matters to you, Where we put our energy is where our energy flows. Where we put our thoughts are where our thoughts go. If we're telling ourselves that, nope, I was just born this way. Yeah, no. I had somebody said, oh my gosh, someone said in front of me, and I had to just like stop. I didn't even say anything because I was so dumbfounded that I couldn't believe that she said it. She said, oh yeah, well, I already told my children just to expect to die of cancer because, that's what people die of in my family and that's just the way it is. No. With an attitude like that, yeah, maybe. Maybe, right? But our bodies are so powerful. This body is the most complicated and amazing computer that is on the planet. You can revert. I've seen it. There's testimonials out there all over the internet. People, and I've met them, people all over the world who have reversed stage 4 cancer, who have reversed MS, who have reversed autoimmune disease, Lyme's disease, gut issues, bowel issues, headaches. They don't get migraine headaches anymore. But these same people that have all these problems are sitting there eating a lunch meat sandwich on white bread, down in some coffee. Okay? All these things are bad for you. They're bad for you. And if we start replacing things little by little, do what you can. Say, hey, you know what? It makes kind of sense. If you want to do one thing that'll like kind of change a lot for you, give up dairy. Stop eating and consuming all dairy for a few weeks. If you have inflammation problems, anything that has to do with inflammation, cut out dairy and then see how you feel. Now, you might feel shitty for a while because your body's going to have to detox and stuff. But ultimately, the statistics are 65% of people are lactose intolerant? You know what that really means? That means that 35% of the population can actually tolerate it. That doesn't mean we're supposed to be drinking it and we're lactose intolerant. No, you need to cut it out. And don't replace it with all this fake stuff either. So if you want to go, I've seen people do it. Like, they get all over vegans, vegans this, whatever. Well, there's junk food vegans. They're not healthy because they're eating a bunch of processed fake cheese and stuff and all this fake burgers and crap and whatever. That's not healthy either. You got to get back to the garden. You got to get back to the fruit. You got to get back to nature in every aspect of your life, and you'll start seeing the differences. That's why I stopped drinking. That's why I stopped smoking. That's why I stopped coloring my hair. Because every 3 weeks I was going and chemicals were seeping into my brain, and I wonder why I had fatigue issues. And I wonder why I would get dizzy and I would have this problem and that problem. Well, when you start looking at the effects that all this stuff has on you, our body has two fluids, okay? It's got blood and it's got lymphatic fluid. So the blood carries the nutrients and accounts for about 20% of the body's fluids. And that's the way the nutrients gets carried to our bodies. Well, when we're eating all these things and we're taking all these chemicals, and guess what? Heart disease is, I think, number one, or cancer's number one, and they switched recently. I don't remember which one's which, but so you're taking all these chemicals and all this bad stuff, and that's what's going through your bloodstream. Well, of course you're going to get sick, right? Because you're not getting the right nutrients. And then your lymphatic system is our sewer system. It's our septic system. The little nodes are septic tanks. And not only does the body have to process all the gunk that we take in and process it through this, and then it goes through the kidneys and the liver, and then it comes out of our excretory systems, but it also, we have trillions of cells. I think I don't know, they say up to 100 trillion cells in your body or something like that. Every single one of them works. Like, they get energy, and just like a car, they dispel exhaust. Well, that exhaust is metabolic waste. Well, that waste has to go through that lymphatic system. Well, that lymphatic system accounts for 80% of the fluids in our body. And guess what? It doesn't have a pump like the heart. So in order to get that lymphatic system moving and that lymphatic system and all that gunk and all that stuff out through the kidneys, through all the liver, you have to move. You have to exercise. That's why they say a sedentary life is, going to kill you. Because if you're not moving, that's what happens. It all gets backed up. And so the body has the ability to heal itself, and the body has the ability to function correctly if we give it the right environment, if we get it the right foods. Just like the animals, just like the panda bears, just like the trees. We can't be doing the things the way we're doing it wrong. We're doing it innately wrong. So I want you guys to think about your health challenges. Think about your family's health challenges. Think about what's going on. Like, really think about it. And then I want you to imagine what your life would be like if you didn't have to deal with that. Imagine what your life would be like if you didn't feel like crap all the time. If you had energy. If your hormones weren't jacked up. And imagine if you could make those changes in 30, 60, 90 days. Completely changing your life forever. Think about it. It's amazing. I mean, I'm still on a journey. I'm still healing. And I will be for lifetime, because we're constantly going to get bombarded with toxins and chemicals and all that kind of stuff. Even in the food, even when we try to buy healthy food and whatever, which is why I say grow a garden and grow your own food so you know where it's coming from. Or get to know your farmer friends and stuff and know what's going on. But what I hope for all of you is that this empowers you to take control of your health, to take control of your family's health. And I want to be here to support you. I want to be here to be your biggest cheerleader. I want you to make a change, whatever you want. And then get in touch with me and be like, hey, Kelly, guess what? I stopped drinking and eating all kinds of dairy, and oh my gosh, I don't have acne anymore. or this cleared up or that cleared up, or hey, Kelly, I stopped this or I started doing this. When I gave up smoking and I stopped drinking, my complexion hasn't looked better. I started implementing more fruits. I will be your biggest fan, your biggest cheerleader fanatic. I will root you on. I will, oh my gosh. And what I hope is that you find something in this and you share this with your friends. You share this with your, like a small group of friends. Because trust me, most of your friends are going to be like, fuck that. I don't want to do that, right? Because they don't want to do the work and they just want to go about. That's fine. That's fine. But you find your tribe. You find the ones that are like, hey, you know what? That makes sense. Let's team up and let's support each other. And let's say, hey, let's, can't get together right now, whatever. But you can all say, hey, every morning we're going to go for a walk. And every morning I'm going to text you and we're going to be on a little group or whatever. And I'm going to go, hey, are you walking? Are you exercising? Yep, we are. Turn off your phone. Don't hold it. Don't talk on it. All right? Don't do that. But get involved and get a group together that wants to make the changes. That way you don't feel alone like I did. You don't have to do it by yourself like I did. Now I have support groups. Now I know people. Now I have, a small group of, people that, even locally that are on the same page. So you can do any of these things one step at a time. Caffeine. If you can kick the caffeine habit, you will feel so much better. And I know people are going to make excuses and, but coffee makes me regular. Coffee is so good for you. Coffee, people have been drinking it, whatever. Well, let me tell you something. Caffeine, there's studies out there. 1 cup of coffee with caffeine, okay, lowers blood flow to your brain by 45%. And that's supposed to wake you up. But yet, it makes you, dumber, right? It makes you not think clearly, right? And then other people that are like, hey, well, and everybody's going to have a little different reaction to different things. That affects them differently. Some people are like, oh, that doesn't bother me at all, or that does, or whatever. Coffee in general, caffeine is the natural pesticide of the plant to keep pests away. That's why a lot of people, when they drink it, they have to go to the bathroom, run to the bathroom, because the body's going, oh my gosh, toxins, get it out, get it out, get it out. And so it's flushing your system. We have to listen to our bodies. If we listen to our bodies, we're going to be in such a better position, okay? Start paying attention to what it's telling us and stop paying attention to what all this other stuff is telling you. And you start making those changes. So you start swapping out all those chemicals in your house, right? And I had trouble with that too because, oh my gosh, the marketing and the lies and the bullshit, that's why they get paid the big bucks, guys, because they can label something all natural, 100%, when really it doesn't have to be 100%. There could be 1% of that, and then the rest of it's all fillers and crap and all those things. So I spent so much money. I bought all kinds of things, and I tried all kinds of things, and then I learned, oh, yeah, well, gosh, that was supposed to be like all non-toxic, whatever, this and that. And then you read the outside label, and you go, oh, yeah, that's good. And then later on, I looked at the actual ingredients and then I start looking them up and I'm like, oh my God, that's like really super bad for you. So that's why I've moved away. That's why I have cleaners and I use things like essential oils and thieves cleaner to clean my whole entire house. I do everything from top to bottom, floors, bathroom, kitchen, you name it. I use it to clean my fruit, use it for everything. I use it for hormone support. I use it for endocrine support. I use it for everything. So what I want to do is support you guys and help you so that give you some different ideas and different things to look at so you can start making the changes as you feel that you can make them. Because everybody's journey is different. Your journey is not my journey. My journey is mine. So you have to find your own path and your own way. But you need to start incorporating quality water. Stop drinking all this other crap. Water, juice, fresh juices, herbal teas, fruits, vegetables. Start exercising. Get out in the sun. Take your shoes off. Walk in the grass. Swap all that chemical crap out of your house. Stop using fabric softener. Stop using all these things that are harming your family. because you're the gatekeeper to your home. You are the one that calls the shots. So if you start calling the shots, you're going to see a big change in your family. You're going to see a big change in your health. And I just want to support you guys. I really, really do. And no, because people say, oh, yeah, I want to do a detox. I'll do a detox. How long is it going to take? It depends on what kind of detox you're going to do. There's all kinds of different detoxes out there. But the thing is you're constantly, this is a lifestyle thing. You can't just go and pop some pills for 2 or 3 weeks or stop eating something for 2 or 3 weeks and then go right back to the way you were living before and expect results. It doesn't work like that. I mean, think about it. Logically, think about it. It doesn't work like that. So I hope that you stick around. I'm going to be posting videos of doctors. Okay, like I said, you don't trust me. Don't believe me. Do your own research. Start making changes for yourself, and you're going to start seeing the changes. You're going to start feeling the changes. It's going to be amazing for you. And then you'll keep going and keep going because you're worth it, aren't you? Aren't you? I think you are. And you're intelligent, aren't you? I think you are. Most people are. At least hopefully my friends are. I don't know. There are some people that maybe not so much, but you're intelligent enough to take ownership of your own life and stop counting on everything else and everybody else to tell you what to do. So I really hope that this is coming from my heart deep down, and I pray for people like all the time. I see so many people suffering and so many people that are sick and worried, and their family and their loved ones and all this kind of, and I know that they have the power to do and to make these changes. But it's hard. It's not going to be easy, and that's why people don't do it. That's why they want a pill. That's why they want a fast track. But if you put in the work, you'll reap the benefits, just like anything. Just like starting a business. You put in the work, you reap the benefits, right? So just know that I love you guys. Really, I do. And I am going to be posting things, and I want you guys, if you don't like what I post, if you're like, nah, that's whatever, scroll on by, keep going. You don't have to do it. You don't have to listen to it. You don't have to be negative about it and make a bad comment or whatever. Just move on. But if you really, if what I said makes sense, and really it makes sense because I've had this same conversation, well, it's not a conversation with you guys, but I've had this same talk about all these different things with so many people over the last few years. It's the different version of the same conversation. And at the end of it, they all are like, wow, yeah, that really makes a lot of sense. And you know what? The majority of them start making changes, and then they're like, oh my gosh, Kelly, I did this. Guess what? I lost 30 pounds. Guess what? My skin looks better. Guess what? Oh my God, my gut doesn't bother me anymore. I can poop now. It's fantastic. I love hearing the successes, and I love the people that are willing to put in the work and go for it because you're worth it. Unless you tell yourself you're not worth it. Unless you tell yourself, nope, that's just the way it is. I'm diseased. There's something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. And that's the other thing I get people saying, oh, well, everybody's different. Everybody's different, Kelly. Well, yeah, people are different, but our bodies work the exact same. The exact same way. We all have the same organs. It all works together the same way. We have different compositions, yes. We have different genetic weaknesses, yes. We eat differently, yeah. We exercise differently, yeah. So everything's going to come out a little bit different in different people depending on all those different factors. But the ultimate thing is, as a species, we are the same. The same. It's kind of like when people say, oh, well, she's big boned. That's why she's big. No, she's not big boned. No, that's just the manufactured programming that we're taught to make us believe that that's what's wrong with us. It's not true, all those things. The manipulation and the lies that are put out there for us to think that this, oh, getting old, and I hear that all the time. Oh, getting old sucks. Yeah. Oh, Kelly, oh, getting old. Yeah. And these things are said to me while they're sitting there downing coffee, eating a bagel with cream cheese, and getting ready and talking about where they're going to go for lunch because they really want to have that burger and stuff. Guys, it's and then they're putting on all this crap, this makeup stuff with all, the chemicals in it, and they're spraying perfume all over themselves and all that kind of stuff. It's just, we're doing it wrong, guys. We're doing it wrong. But you can do it right. You can. You can do it, and I have faith in you, and I believe in you, and I want you to do it, and I want you to tell me when you do it, and I will be your biggest cheerleader, and I will root you on. So get a group of your friends together. Maybe it's you and your family. Maybe it's just your immediate family right now, or maybe it's you and a couple of your friends. Start doing something. Do something. Because if you do nothing, you're just going to continue down the same path you've been on, and it's just going to get worse. So I love you guys, and I really pray and hope the best of health and love and everything for all of you. So I hope you stick around, because now that I got through one video, maybe I'll start doing some more. I was very nervous about this one. So hopefully y'all learned something, and you stick around. And I will be not only doing stuff online, but as soon as this fiasco opens up or whatever, I'm going to start, I'll be doing some classes online in the meantime, but then I will also be doing face-to-face, and I do one-on-ones. I'll do any of that kind of stuff or whatever, because you have the ability to heal yourself. You have the ability to live the life you really want, and I pray for that for you. Okay? Love you.